Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday afternoon. Starting to get cloudy out there in Fairfield. And of course, as I showed you the radar before hopping on, you can actually see why. We got a line of strong storms moving across southern Illinois at this time. Not severe yet. I stress the word yet right there. There had been some special weather statements associated with this line coming in. So let's go ahead and get right to it here from the weather perspective. So I'm going to show you guys the radar at this time. And we're going to do a little Pablo Picasso action, all right? We're going to go ahead and do some little drawing. So here's Fairfield right here. This is Fairfield, 82 degrees right now in Fairfield. This line coming into Florida, western side of Clay County, all the way extended down about Mount Vernon, Illinois. This line coming in at about 30 miles per hour. That's how fast it is moving. And this line has actually caused a little bit of damage. There was some reports earlier before hopping on here. There was some reports. I did see one out of the Breeze area about some 3-inch limbs that were actually snapped due to this line. We do have a special weather statement for Clay County. So let's go ahead and take a look at that here. And this is at 121. So that was about, let me see here, about a couple of minutes ago. 121 Doppler radar was tracking a strong storm over Xenia, 8 miles west of Florida, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Said 30, my mistake, 50. Wind gust up to 50 miles per hour, penny-sized hail. Now, that is strong. It's not severe, and I'll explain why that is in a moment here. But radar indicated threat. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Minor hail damage to vegetation is possible. Again, you got Flora, Louisville, Clay City, Xenia, Bible Grove, Sailor Springs, Iola, Wendelin, Florida Municipal Airport, Ingram, and Horde. So again, we are seeing here this line starting to produce here some special weather statements. One thing about this line is that this line, again, this is so far today the main event. This is the main event. Also, if you happen to be outdoors, please seek shelter. Also, torrential rainfall is also occurring with the storm. And that was one of the threats, was actually the rainfall. If you recall the post I shared this morning for the National Weather Service in Paducah, was talking about how we could have 1 inch to 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain. Now, it depends on where you're at in terms of locally. However, though, as I mentioned, that there could be some minor flooding as well. So there could be areas, some low-lying, flood-prone areas that could get flooded. So if you happen to be traveling and maybe you encounter a flooded roadway, as I always say, turn around, don't drown, because you don't know how deep that water is. You don't know what's in the water. And also, too, flooded roadways are difficult to see at night. So that is something of note here as we continue on, over the course of the day. So let's go ahead and I'm going to close out of this as well here. The storm may also intensify as well. That is another possibility. Now, I will tell you that so far there are no severe thunderstorm warnings. There's no weather warnings at this time. However, though, that could change. And there is already a severe thunderstorm watch for a part of Missouri going into Arkansas. None for Illinois yet at this time, but it does bear watching know that this storm is below severe criteria. So anytime you have a storm that is strong, now severe criteria would be wind gusts up to 58 miles per hour or greater, hail up to 1 inch size or larger. And I'll show you an example here of that. Let me pull up something here for you. And this is what I mean by the hail size comparison. So, for example, when you have, 1 inch, you're talking about a quarter. Anything larger than a quarter would be considered severe. Now, we have seen baseball-sized hail in the past. We've also seen, lime-sized, golf ball-size. And so right now, it's only producing penny-size, which, again, that's not really that big at all, but only about 3/4 of an inch. But still, not too far off from the inch or larger criteria. As we take a look here at the weather radar at this time, this is a long line of storms. We zoom out here a little bit. We're looking at the Evansville radar site. St. Louis already 66 degrees over there. That's because the line moved through here earlier. But as we zoom in, this is the main event so far today, as we'll do a little Pablo Picasso drawing. We're going for about, we'll say about Marshall, Illinois, extending down to out the southwest Florida. You're getting closer. That storm is knocking on your back door. Mount Vernon, Illinois, you were also about to experience this line of storm. So this right here is the main part of the line. I've had people actually message me photos. I want to thank Bobby as well here for messaging me some cloud photos up there in the Effingham area when it was actually dark and ominous up there. Temperature is starting to drop right here in Florida already, 79 degrees. We zoom out here, we take a look at the big picture. We're going to set this, oh, excuse me, sorry about that. We're going to set this here in motion here for you. And we're just going to show you here, we're going to about 50 frames, and you can actually see how this line has progressed over the course of the past few hours. So here we go, as letting the computer do its thing here, but this line really has grown, and this is how it's grown here. Just look at the animation on radar. You can actually see it starting to come together just east of St. Louis right there. Pretty close to the kind of like the breeze area, and starting to gain some strength here. So again, we do have the potential. So far it's strong, it's not severe. But again, it looks like the strongest storm so far. If you look at it from a radar perspective, as we move up here, it's about right there, Florida area right here. This storm right here so far has been the stronger one as it continues to move to the east at about 50 miles per hour. Let's go put in storm track on this here. And I'm just kind of, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit. But if I'm over at Olney, I know Olney, you're getting a storm right now. But I would really look at this here and see. And we're going to type in, let's go about 50. Do about 50 miles per hour. We're going to calculate this. So swing this around here, show you Sailor Springs, 13 minutes, Clay City, 13. We're going to kind of focus on that notch area. Camp Travis, 15. Schnell, 20. Passport, 20. Noble, 21 minutes. Only about 30 minutes away. And so as we look here, I think about the major highways as well. They're impacted. You actually have right now at this time, you got 50. Highway 50, you got Highway 45 cutting through Louisville, Florida, going all the way up to Effingham. You also have 50 going into Salem as well. Clay City, Dietrich Blacktop Road. I was just on that road last weekend, actually. A lot of people like to use that road. That's also another potential one. I forget the name of this county highway now, but the one that's just Sailor Springs, just north of Sailor Springs, and traveling west to Louisville. If you're on the Clay City Dietrich Blacktop Road, you know what I'm talking about. That road also, see people use that road. So any country highways, any roads, again, could feel the impacts of this storm. And there's a lot of people that travel on Highway 50. So again, if you know someone who is in that area, may want to tell them about this line of storms that's coming in. And already Florida, again, 79, as I mentioned. Let's take a look here. I'm kind of curious about the velocity data on this. And Florida, rain, it may be starting to rain over there right now. We're about to. Let me see here if I can pull up velocity data. I'm not seeing anything too concerning. Now, we talked about this yesterday, if you recall, on the live stream. And that is we're underneath like a 2% hatch for tornado activity, while areas like Arkansas, for example, was 5%. But still can't rule out a brief spin up here. But this is not like if you go back to a few months ago with Marion, Illinois EF4. It's not like that at all. This is not up to that level of an event. But certainly, though, you can't rule out the possibility of a brief spin up, maybe even a funnel as well. But again, this is a line here that's shown strong characteristics. And as I played for you in the automation, this line has really come together. And what was really just a few storms over in the St. Louis, Missouri area has now really just ballooned here, and it's really has gained some intensity. Let me go ahead here and see. Let me check the live chat here. Live chat's open, by the way. If you maybe you have a storm report to pass along, I'm seeing some people hop on here already. Appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Saturday afternoon. And I know that it's homecoming week here in Fairfield. I do know that this weather, I know that a lot of the high school kids like to take photos out there at Leo French Park before coming to the dance. Maybe a soggy time for sure. I do know that the loft is open for that. So props to Gary Carter for opening up the loft. I also know our Bobcat softball team was playing at Southwest Park, and they were playing actually the second game of a doubleheader when I left. So they might be able to get that whole game in, but we'll see. They already got one game in. But again here, guys, that is a look at the radar at this time. Again, nothing that severe at the moment, but it is strong. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do a storm track. And I'm going to do one on my mouse is driving me crazy. It's driving me absolutely crazy. So let's do Mount Vernon. And I'm going to go 50 here on this one. Those of you in Fairfield may be wondering when. Let me move this over here just a hair. Okay, so right now we got, Mount Vernon. Obviously, it's just right there upon you guys. Pretty close to it. May be starting to see some rain over there. Blueford, 15 minutes. Keens, 21. I don't know why it says Keensville. That's interesting. Wayne City, 24 minutes. Sims, 28, 8 and 34. Jeffersonville, which is Jeff, that'd be 37 minutes. Fairfield, 38 minutes away from now. Barnhill, 39. Mill Shoals, 40. Burnt Prairie, 46. Golden Gate, 49. Albion, about 58 minutes away from now. Crossville, about an hour away from now. Along with Grayville, about 63 minutes. Bone Gap, 63. West Salem, 63. Brown, 63. Belmont, 68. New Harmony, Indiana, 69. Keensburg, 70. Mount Carmel, this would be about an hour, 17 minutes away from you. 77 minutes to be exact. But I also think about, too, when it comes to roadways, I think about I-64 as well. Motorists traveling on I-64. If you're heading west on I-64 right now, maybe starting to see some of the clouds. If you're pretty close enough to the line, you may start to see some of the clouds rolling in, the ominous black clouds. Highway 15 as well. And even 148 going down. That's another major highway. I-57 already getting hit between Salem and Mount Vernon. Effingham, you're on the back side of it. You're probably experiencing some moderate rain right now. But again, this is the line right here. This is the main event of the day. And as you can see right there, it continues to push east at about 50 miles per hour. So that's the Pablo Picasso drawing of the day right there. 57 extending south. Something to keep an eye on later on. We'd like to mention, you may see that green box right there. That just tells you about the heavy rainfall, flash flooding possible. And I'll pull that up here for you while I get a quick drink. But this is about some heavy rainfall, flash flooding possible. So again, occasionally, let's just read this here. Stronger southern stream shortwave over central Oklahoma continues to progress and play along. Okay, the overall coverage of cells remains scattered, though some embedded cores have observed producing about a quarter of an inch to half an inch totals in 15 to 30 minutes, with hourly totals nearing an inch and 25. As low-level flow and moisture flux continue to strengthen with rapidly expanding divergence area aloft from the strong right entrance region to the 110 jet. Occasional hourly totals up to 1.5 inches are not out of the possibility. So, but again, occasional heavy burst up to 1.5 inches per hour. Localized totals of 2 to 3 inches, and perhaps an isolated 3.5 inches or more of rain. Now, again, it depends on what storm you get. It depends on, whether you get the red core and all that, but it depends in terms of how much rain you're going to get. And again, hourly, there's, you have, that's why there's like a variety of rainfall totals. And let me see here if I can pull up, while we're talking about the rain, let me see if I can do this here, maybe. Maybe not. Let me try something different. Okay, here it is. And let me take my tool here and see if I could. So really about it, yeah, seeing about right here in the actually north of Centralia, the 161, about just a little over 1.5 inches. Okay, so about 1 inch and 6,500s right there. So that's how much rain has been falling over there. So that gives you a little bit of an indication into the rain aspect of what to expect. So, but that green box, that's what it means. So it's just a statement about the potential for some flooding right there. It's not a severe thunderstorm watch. It's not a tornado watch, but that's what that is. Live chat open, by the way. You guys have any weather reports out there? Now we got some people traveling here. It is a weekend. It's busy. A lot of people out and about. Florida right now getting hit with this, and you can actually zoom in right there. Florida getting some purple up there. There's Florida, and there's the purple right there, and that is approaching 45 and 50. Well, it's actually going through whenever 45 and 50 are together for a little bit, but right there, Florida getting the purple core right there right now. So some heavy rain falling in Florida. Let me see if I can. I've got a buddy here that lives up there. Let me see if I can get him on the. See if I can text him and see what he is seeing right now at this time. Murph has actually helped us out in the past with some weather reports. And let's see here what he's saying here. So give me a moment here while I text him. So I texted my buddy Murph here, and we'll see here what it's doing. But this line continues to come in from the west. Mount Vernon still, maybe a little bit of shower right here. So far, it hasn't really impacted you yet, but it's getting pretty close. Nashville getting the brunt of it. Irvington as well. Centralia. Florida, again, getting, really, if you look at this line right now so far, Florida getting the heaviest part of the line. So, but anyway, that's what this line's doing. No severe thunderstorm watches, no weather warnings in effect. But I will tell you this line is strong. Let me see if there's an update on Clay County. I'm kind of curious. Expires in 5 minutes, but maybe there might be an update. Still the 121 update. But again, a last update at 121, wind gust up to 50 miles per hour, penny-sized hail, radar indicated threat at this time. So, but again, not severe, but it is, it is pretty close to becoming severe there. And that's what that blue is. It's a special weather advisory, special weather statement. And that is where, again, you have the blue box around it. Now, if it was severe thunderstorm warning, it would have the yellow box around it, around Clay County. We'll go ahead and set this in motion here for you, show you how this line has formed. This time we're going to do 100 frames. I did 50 frames last time. And let me go ahead and show you what it's doing. And we'll also take a look at, see what else is over to our west. See if there's anything else besides, which I call this the main event. This is how it's formed, by the way. You can actually see how this line is formed. It kind of started forming around St. Louis, the storms have, and it's just kind of been building and building and building. You even see a few storms form out ahead of it. But that is actually how it formed. And let me see here. Again, this is 100 frames. That was at 7:53 this morning. That's the start of it. So we're talking 7:53 and going until this moment in time. So you can see over the past several hours how it has formed. So I'm always curious, in terms of how these storms form, how a line forms. I kind of want to see the genesis of it. I've always been fascinated with that. Let's take a look at the radar sites. Let's go to St. Louis for a moment. We are starting to see another line over here. That may be something to keep an eye on. Over into the part of Missouri right there, just south of Jefferson City. Jefferson City to Springfield. So we'll keep an eye on that. There was talk, if you recall yesterday during the live stream, that there was the possibility of a second line that could form, and that could be the case right there, but we'll see how it does. It's still got time to travel from where it's at now to southern Illinois, but this is something to keep an eye on for sure as we progress. Let's go ahead and see. So I'll talk about severe thunderstorm warnings. That's the case over here. That's actually just northwest of Springfield. Just kind of curious what county that is. Southern Polk. So, okay. Just kind of curious about that. And what I like is, you guys have seen these live streams over the course of this year where, and this is just an example here. This is over in Missouri, but you have the tornado possible, the hail, the wind. So I can just like refresh you, like an example of terms of severe thunderstorm warnings. That's what it would look like. And guys, one thing of note, it's 81 degrees in Fairfield because it hasn't rained yet. Salem, it's 67. And that's only about an hour apart. So, yeah, 81 degrees in Fairfield, 67 in Salem. And look at this, Mount Vernon at the airport there, 83. I mean, that's only just about what? About what, 20 to 30 minute drive at least? If you're taking 57, you're taking Highway 37. I mean, that's crazy. Talk about how it could rain on one side of the county and not the other. And look at temperature wise, just miles apart. Look at that. Look at that. 85 at the Lawrenceville Mount Carmel Airport. 72 in Robinson. 65 in Effingham. And that's one thing too about this storm system is that we're going to be seeing some colder temperatures here. And I'm going to go ahead and do this here for a moment. But in case you guys are not aware, there's actually the chance it's forecast to be 38 for the low tomorrow night. So let me pull this up here for you because you guys are probably curious by that. Okay, severe thunderstorm watch out for Missouri. I'm going to swing this around here. Make it be 39, but see if I could do it. Maybe today. Please come over. It won't let it come over for some reason. Let me do something real quick here. Yeah, there it is. So let me enlarge this here a little bit here for you. This is the weather forecast. This is the Fairfield area, and look at that. And tonight, low of 51, but then low of 39 Sunday night, low of 49 Monday night, and Tuesday night. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but you're looking at a low in the 30s, I believe, maybe 40. Let's see if I can do this here. There we go. Low of 41. But still, the chill is coming. It's coming, tomorrow night. So it's going to be, low of 39, low of 41. And it's fall. I mean, it's officially fall. We knew it was going to be happening at some point. We just didn't know when, but it's going to be happening. Take a look at the weather radar once again. Showing you guys the line. Again, no weather warnings in effect at this time. But there it is. Again, the possibility of flooding. Strong wind is possible. You also have tornado threat more down to our southwest in Arkansas. They were saying that's where the stronger storms are going to be. Arkansas area, Tennessee, Western Kentucky. Already severe thunderstorm warning over Missouri as I showed you a couple of minutes ago. But again, this is the main event. So what I'm going to do is here, guys, I'm going to take a brief break, come back, and I'll give you some more analysis here. But again, this line moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. I'm going to set this in motion here for you. And that way you guys can be updated on it. But there it is. And this is about a 30-minute animation here. Flora, let me see if my buddy texted me real quick before hopping off here. Murph just said, it's mostly just heavy rain. Oh. Also got a report here. Yeah. Yeah, I just had a friend pass the exit and you actually see the dust of the combine out there in the field. So still got a farmer. They got some farmers out there. So if you know of anyone who's farming, may want to tell them that that it's actually got some rain coming in. And Murph just said it's mostly just heavy rain. Okay, so that's encouraging because way Flora was in that purple, I was getting concerned about that. I was getting concerned if there was going to be like some large hail, maybe some wind, but so far just heavy rain. So, and that purple is actually dissipated, but I'm pretty sure for Flora, maybe if someone was taking a nap and it woke them up. So guys, I'm going to hop off here for a few minutes. Got some things I got to do. But I will be back on here. I'll leave the radar up here and going. I will keep an eye on this as well. And if there's any warnings, when it gets close, a little bit closer to Fairfield, I'll hop back on. But anyway, guys, stay weather aware out there and keep you informed about this, about the weather situation here. Again, no severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. A strong line of storms moving through. But again, it is moving to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So far, Mount Vernon, no rain. Fairfield, no rain. However, Florida, Albany's getting some storms up there. Salem, Centralia, and Nashville. So, but anyway. All right, guys. I'll be back on here in a few minutes. Hey guys, hope you're doing well here. Derek Dunn here with you, and had to take a few minutes here just to do a few things here. So I apologize here for hopping off here a little bit. But right now at this time, no weather warnings so far anyway. Live chat's open if you guys want to hop on. I've been kind of doing some things here. I was talking to a guy from the local EMA, and the front has started to advance our way, which I agree with. It's coming in for sure. Um, but again, no weather warnings. I've had the radar up here for you guys that we can see in live animation, what it's doing. And I was talking to someone, a friend of mine, and currently traveling on I-64, and one of the things we talk about here is, even though it's a strong storm, it's not severe yet. But I think about areas like I-64, I think about areas like I-57, where if you have a good enough rain, it could actually reduce visibility. Road conditions can really can decrease here. And so, one thing of note is that if you're having to be traveling, just be careful. As I say, and I remember years ago when I had that deer accident back in, I want to say 2020, I think. But one of the things that I always say is a vehicle can be replaced, but your life cannot be. And so, but I'm just saying that just be careful if you happen to be traveling, where you have interstate speed, highway speed. Again, take it easy if you come across any storms, because I'll tell you what, as I mentioned earlier, just take your time, be patient, and like I said, it's better to be safe than sorry. Right now, 70 degrees in Flora, 75. Now, these temperatures are at their respective airports. So here's Florida right here, 70 degrees, 75 at the Noble Albany Airport. Mount Vernon, 70. Fairfield, you're still at 82. I just stepped outside for a few minutes just to kind of see and feel what it's like. And it is still breezy out there. It's still cloudy. Still warm for the most part, but it's coming though. The cooler air is coming in. And so Mount Vernon so far, you've not really been hit with any, maybe a little bit of a shower, maybe a brief storm, but while the area is pretty much along Highway 50, have been pretty much getting drilled by this line. And even in 57, portions of I-57, Highway 33 as well, 130, going through Albany and Newton. They've been impacted by this line. Now, I-64, pretty much west of 57, has been pretty much relatively dry for the most part. However, there's been a few storms that have formed, but so far, though, southeastern Illinois, pretty much quiet. 85 degrees in Harrisburg and 85 degrees in Evansville, Indiana. But this line continues to rock. It's gotten a little bit weaker a little bit. I feel like it's decreasing in strength a little bit. But again, we just can't overlook this line by any means. And again, with the impact of the wind, Jennifer, hey Jennifer, good to hear from you. Weather report from Jennifer up in Sisney. Sisney really windy, raining and dark. Yeah, and let's zoom in on Sisney here for a moment. As we zoom in on Sisney, I zoomed in way too much, but that's fine. Here's Sisney right here, and pretty much Blue Point, the Blue Point Church area, Johnsonville, they are experiencing the line. So Jennifer, you talked about Sisney earlier. That is where the line is right there, impacting Reinard, Orchardville, the Samdale Lake area, already getting impacted by this line of storms. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, here in Fairfield, it hasn't rained yet, but areas to the northern part of the county. And we talked about 161. I talked about Quasi Dietrich Blacktop Road, but 161 been pretty quiet, but already starting to see some rain and storm activity along that stretch, especially on the northwestern side of Wayne County. So travel. So if you happen to be traveling on 161 extension, like you're heading towards Salem, Centralia, be careful. You have to be traveling that way. zoom out here a little bit, show you the big picture of this line, this cluster of storms moving through. So far, no severe thunderstorm warnings. There's no tornado warnings. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pop up here and just give me a moment here while I'm doing this. But just pop up here and say that so far we've had some special weather advisories, we've had some special weather statements, but nothing in terms of severe thunderstorm warnings yet. And let me go ahead and pull this. Let me see if I could do something real quick. I'll show you guys here what it looks like so far. And let me zoom in a little bit on that. Okay, so let me do this here real quick. So this right here, this is off of Paducah's website, and this is so far, again, the hazardous weather outlook. You have the wind advisory, which it's been breezy today. We've seen wind in excess of 30 miles per hour, breezy conditions. Severe thunderstorm watch over in Missouri, like Centerville, Farmington, but no severe thunderstorm watch here for Southern Illinois nor for St. Louis. However, though, there is the possibility we are underneath a marginal risk for severe weather, while portions of southwestern Illinois are underneath a slight risk for severe weather. But still, it is on the table. It is on the table. What we could have a severe storm or two, but we have not seen that today, which we will certainly take. It is encouraging that we have not seen any severe weather so far. It's been mainly here for Fairfield. The Fairfield area has been mainly to our north and to our west, but eventually we will get clipped by this line. I want to show you guys, let me do something here real quick. I'm going to minimize that. And I'll bring the radar back up here again. Now this line is the first one. And let me go ahead and do this here. So this is the first line. As you can see, do a little pin tool out here. So this right here is the first line. This line was also the one responsible, as I posted on my Facebook page earlier, knocking down 3-inch limbs north of Breeze. But we also have another line that has formed to the west. And let's take a look here at the Springfield radar site, Springfield, Missouri radar site, that is. And actually, I'll tell you what, let's go. Let's see here. What's the rhythm? So you can actually see here a second line that is formed, not nearly as strong as the first one, but it does bear watching. There are some special weather statements. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for the Springfield, Missouri area, but so far anyway, it does bear watching. And it's also going over an area that's already been rained upon. So I don't think it's going to get the same juice, the same energy as what the first line did here. And as we take a look at this in animation, and we're using the St. Louis radar site for this, I'm going to do 100 frames here just to kind of play for you, how it's formed. But the second line, different than the first, not so much of a slant, but I just don't think it has quite the power. We are starting to see some storms pop up in Missouri. Take a little bit of time here for it to do the 100 frames, but this is like time lapse of several hours. But it is interesting how these storms have formed, and for our area, the majority of these storms have formed around St. Louis and just ballooned up. There we go, there it is. So you can actually see how there were some storms already. And you can actually see how the first round had formed. And then the second round right there on its heels in the central part of Missouri. But again, I don't think the second round is going to be, as potent as the first. because it's going to be where that first line is going to take away some energy and instability from it. So, but could we see more storms? Sure, we can see more storms later on. But I'm just kind of curious about if you have this line right here, these storms, and they hog up that energy, then what about the second line? Is it going to be the same? I don't think it will be. I really don't think it will be. Mount Vernon getting a little shower, 70 degrees there at Mount Vernon, 82 in Fairfield, 85 in Harrisburg, 85 at Evansville Airport. Again, the temperatures that you see, for example, this is the Mount Carmel Airport. I call it Lawrenceville Mount Carmel Airport, 84, 82 at the Fairfield Airport, 85 in Harrisburg. So those areas right there. Again, those are the airport readings, airport temperatures at this time. But again, this line, not severe at this moment. It is strong. And we haven't really seen any special weather advisories since Clay County, since it's in our immediate area. But again, we can't rule out the possibility of some strong storm activity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. This mouse has a mind of its own, folks. Sometimes it does. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off here, but I'm going to keep the stream going. And that way you guys can see the radar in person. And that way you can be like, oh, okay, he's got the radar up, and that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to circle Fairfield as well. And that way you guys can see the radar. And we're going to do about a 30 minute lapse here. And it'll be up to date. It will continue to be updated as the animation continues to go. So stay tuned here and be with you and everything like that. But again, just going to keep this going here. And that way you guys can actually see the line. You can actually see it coming in. If you have any storm reports, please post it in the live chat. I know, Jennifer, I appreciate the report over at Sisney. Greatly appreciate for that. And I know Murph also contributed. Appreciate Murph up there in Flora earlier. So Bobby as well. Shelby as well, too. So thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and set the animation, and I'll hop out for a little bit. I'll join you guys. I'll be back on here in a little bit. Just got to take care of some things. Thanks. All right, guys. Well, welcome back here. I left the radar up for some time. It's kind of waiting to see what was developing. We do have some rain and storms developing here over the Fairfield area. We do have a storm, and you can actually see it right here as I show you the radar. This storm just popped up, and again, the animation on the radar about the past 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and you can just see how that storm has just exploded over Fairfield. I am starting to hear some rain at my place. I'm starting to hear the raindrops hit the roof. And so as we zoom out here, let me zoom out here and show you the big picture here of the storms. And let me stop it here for a moment. There it is. Starting to see a strong storm, even though it's to our southwest, but it is like the strongest storm so far over in the Chester area. That one starting to get going there a little bit. Fairfield, you're right here, still at 81 degrees, 64 degrees in Flora. It's only about a 25-minute drive, and change in temperature, a noticeable change in temperature at that. But again, though, it is raining right now in Fairfield. Again, as I showed you guys, the storm that has formed here. And again, it's been really quiet here so far. But again, storming right now in Fairfield. It's not severe, but it just happened to form right on top of us. And you can actually see how you've had these other cells as well. As we take a look here, like for example, these cells, these little blips right here, are starting to get themselves going. Even got some down here, McLeansboro and Carmi. Even West Frankfort got a little cell right there. But again, the one over Chester, just kind of circled that one. The southwest so far appears to be the strongest cell at this time on radar. But again, been relatively quiet until storm just formed over Fairfield. This right here, you may see that is a severe thunderstorm watch that was issued for 212. And for those of you that have see me use this radar, you know that this is kind of a new thing a little bit. Severe weather threat. This is to our southwest for parts of western northern Arkansas, southern Missouri right there. And it goes a little bit more into detail right there. But so far, no severe thunderstorm watch for us. This is the green, by the way, that you see, and I'll draw it here for you. See that green right there? That's more about the flash flooding potential. But so far anyway, nothing severe at this time, no severe weather watches or warnings. But again, if I had to, look in here on the radar wise, I would say the cell near the Chester area appears to be the strongest one. There's some lightning over here on the lightning tracker, just north of Vincennes. Did hear a rumble of thunder, just here at my base, my home base. So, but again, though, not severe at this time, still strong, but we're starting to see these storms starting to fire up here in southern Illinois right now. Pretty much quiet in the Harrisburg, Shawneetown, Marion, little shower right there. But we are starting to see here some activity starting to fire up north. And I get this confused a little bit. Sometimes I kind of zoom in a little bit. Highway 13. I don't know why, and it's the weirdest thing. Let me stop it here for a moment. But it seems like I don't know why. I always see, here's 14, Carmi, McLeansboro, and then you have Shawneetown, Harrisburg right there. I always get those two mixed up. I don't know why that is, because I guess they're close in number. But regardless, anyway, this activity again, we've been seeing the storms pop up, but they just have not been able to get up to severe levels, which is a good thing. It is a good thing. There's a silver lining to that, and that is this. We are getting some rain, though, which we'll certainly take, given how dry of a fall it's been, coupled with late summer. But so far, anyway, nothing severe at this time, just strong storms right now in our area and region. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'll continue to keep the radar going. But so far, anyway, nothing has really intensified into severe weather criteria yet. No, none of the storms have. But I'll keep it going up here. and continue to monitor and watch this line. So keep the animation going, and also circle Fairfield as well with a box, and that way you guys know where Fairfield is with this animation going. So, hey guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll keep it going here on the screen. Okay, guys. So right now, the way I see it here, Fairfield at 69, and just right before I left, it was in the 80s. So we've already seen the rain and storms move through. Looking at the radar, I'm not seeing anything that is threatening our area. Even though there have been some pop-up showers and storms that have formed, but I'm not seeing, I'm not really seeing any activity that is concerning to me in terms of weather. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the horn real quick. And again, just nothing out there that's concerning to me. I mean, we do have these storms, but they're not severe at the moment. They are, your common thunderstorms. If any of them wanted to be severe, then that's what I would be hopping on and announcing what's going on. Oh, and speaking of that, we do have our first severe thunderstorm warning. It was up for a brief moment and then it just disappeared. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay, well, let's read over the details of this. I was just happened to hop on here. Severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Perry County, southwestern Jefferson County, northwestern Franklin until 3:30 at 3:03. Severe storm was located near DuQuoin, moving northeast at 35, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, nickel-sized hail, but the wind gust is what it is. Nickel-sized hail, not quarter size. Quarter size or larger would be considered severe. It's radar indicated threat. DuQuoin, Pinckneyville, Rend Lake area, Cesar, Tamaroa, Waltonville, Nason, and St. John's. That is the lone severe thunderstorm warning. That's the first severe thunderstorm warning we've had in southern Illinois, I believe all afternoon long. I could be wrong on that because I hopped on here later. Wasn't here whenever the storms were in St. Louis, but you can actually see right here the cell. There's DuQuoin right there. There's Highway 51. There's Highway 13. It's this cell right here. And it's the purple core that's moving this way. So Tamaroa in line for this. Cesar as well. But again, that is the only severe thunderstorm warning on the map. But again, if you're over in the Mount Vernon, Illinois area, so here's Mount Vernon right here. There's Mount Vernon right there. There's the cell right here. Moving this way. May skirt past Mount Vernon, may clip Mount Vernon, but it's moving in that general direction. But it is something to monitor to keep an eye on. So that is the lone severe thunderstorm warning. You just going to hop off here, and all of a sudden this just popped up. It's crazy. But these storms, the majority of them have not really gotten themselves going severe-wise. But if you recall from the live stream yesterday, this area right here of southwestern Illinois was in that slight risk for severe weather. And so it's something that we'll have to keep an eye on here. But again, these storms are starting to fire up, starting to get themselves going. But so far, they've been under severe criteria, except for the one over in Perry County. So, but nonetheless, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go around the horn here and just show you guys some storms. We do have some storms starting to fire up over in the central part of Missouri. These cluster of storms right now, this would be southwest of Rolla. So here's Rolla right here. This cluster is starting to get themselves going. And this is also in a favorable environment, even to get these storms over here in the Current River area. But these right here are severe. So we'll see what they do. They still got some time to travel, some distance. But again, starting to see these storms starting to pop up and start to have some severe criteria with them. Let's see what these storms are doing here in south central Missouri. More like the wind. And that's really been the story here. Kind of like the Perry County storm. The wind certainly has really been the factor, along with the rain as well, the heavy rain. There is even a special weather statement just to the west of Bloomington, Indiana. But again, that's out of our coverage area. But so far, the nearest storm that is severe criteria is the one in the DuQuoin, Pinckneyville, Tamaroa area. And that one is moving northeast at 35. I'll put a quick storm track on it. I am going to stop the live stream because, again, I'm not seeing. So far, the storms have really been they've been exploding, they've been popping up, but they just have not really turned severe. Now, if we do have a few that turn severe, I'll hop back on here. But so far, they have not been able to get themselves going. Woodlawn, 23 minutes. Boyd, 32. Walnut Hill, 38. Dix, 39. Texaco, 41. Kell, 45. Salem, it's about an hour away from you. Iuka, 64. Xenia, 74. Kimundi, 77. So it goes on down the line right there. So, but that is what that storm is moving to the northeast at about 35. So what I'm going to do here is, guys, I'm going to end the live stream. I will hop back on here if, and I say if, we have severe weather threatening our area. But for now, though, we just have seen these storms pop up. They have not been severe yet, except for the Perry County storm. That should skirt to the west of us. But if you're over Salem, Mount Vernon, I would keep an eye on the storm if I were you, just in case. Let's take a look here, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it from the Evansville radar site. I may have to go Paducah with this one. Nothing really that jumps out at me from a velocity perspective. But again, Kent Road, a brief spin up, but the wind has certainly been the primary threat. We also have a storm that's starting to get going. This one's got quarter-sized tail with it just northwest of Fredericktown. So, but in the meantime here, guys, I'm going to hop off here. And like I said, that is what I'm seeing here so far anyway. So keep an eye here on my Facebook, keep it on my YouTube for live streams here regarding weather coverage. But again, nothing yet immediately in the Fairfield area. Starting to break up a little bit. But again, if anything were to happen, I'll hop back on here.